Hi everybody, thanks for stopping by again. I am just doing a quick video about darkroom printing and not necessarily misconceptions or like falsities, but just things you can get away with if you don't have like the perfect darkroom setup. I am lucky enough to have a basement to do this in, but even still it's like a finished, unfinished basement, and there are areas where light is getting in, or even if I have my phone down there to play music or whatever, and my screen is at the dimmest it can be, I still look at it to put on a song or skip commercials or whatever. It hasn't made fogging happen. It hasn't affected any of the images that I've made. I'm hoping it'll be a helpful little guide, in a sense, to give you a little more feelings of leniency in whatever darkroom setup you have and help you feel confident even though you might have some light getting in or whatever. Still do your best to block out whatever light you can. I wouldn't recommend letting light in. If you can keep it out, try. Hopefully this video is helpful, and I'm gonna do a little walk around down in the basement and show you what I'm working with. See you on the other side. Okay, so down here in my darkroom in my basement, I have a pile of papers that I check on the ground that are tests that are bad, some that are a little better. This is where I put water to wash prints. Sometimes I'll use the sink here. Hold on, let me turn on more lights. Sometimes I'll use the sink here, but it runs into this bucket and it fills up really quickly. So I have a backup bucket, two other little buckets, but mostly I just will wash the prints in here and let them sit for a minute. And then I hang them up here. And yeah, I blocked out the light in that window, this area mostly. We had pipes freeze, this black pipe there. So I had to pull off some stuff that was blocking light from coming in from that corner. But that corner there is a light source in the daytime. I'm going to show some pictures that I took of light sources. This little cable connection to this extension cord that goes to my timer here, that emits light. I've got our little heater here that emits light whenever it kicks on, and I covered up this point of light on our water heater, but that was emitting light. And then I also generally will keep my smartphone on this table here with music playing, unless I use my tape player or something. And I have put my phone here on top of just these Ilford boxes. And I've lifted it up while prints were sitting in this tray, developing, and put on music. I would turn my screen brightness down, but still, that's a light source. And I've never had any issues with fogging. And also, usually people will keep their dry side, which is where they run their tests, do their print, and then they'll bring it over and put it on the wet side. And this is where all the water and the chemicals would be. And I think it's a great idea, but for me, I am just as careful as can be. And you can see that there is some like spilling that happens, but I just try to not get anything on here for the most part. Here's a drop. And then I'll go and I'll wipe it down, usually at the end of a session or whatever. But I'm just making this video to show that it's obviously you need to be careful. You don't want to push too many limits, or do you? I don't know. But this is what I have, and I think I'm very lucky to have a basement area. Some people do closets or their bathroom or their bedroom or an office or whatever, and that's also really nice. But just know that it's not as strict as it seems, or people make it seem. I feel like it is a little more lenient within making prints than people like to make people think. And I feel like it's also sort of a gatekeepy type of attitude to have. And it makes sense to be wary and, use whatever information that's given and practice and find your own rhythm. But also, it's fine to have some things happening that could potentially affect things. And also this video is just to let you know that most likely it won't affect stuff. I was only using this one light for a while, my safe light, and it was really dark down here other than those little points of light I showed you. Oh, and then here's the other point of light. This part in the floor here, right up there. I blocked it off with some cardboard and a piece of wood, but I still have yet to actually patch it. We're gonna have our floors done sometime, so I don't want to put a new piece of wood there because I want to keep that area cleared. But yeah, and then I recently, along with, pardon the spinning, that enlarger, which is incredible and fits ever so perfectly in between these beams, I got this other safe light. That's great. So it helps kind of balance the light in the room while I'm making prints so I can see areas a bit better. But otherwise, I was generally working in the dark. And at first I was using this safe light, which is very, very dim, and way dimmer than this little one that I use now. And it was so hard to see, and it was terrible. And I was paranoid that if I went any brighter with a safe light, it wouldn't work. Like it would fog images. And that's kind of what got me thinking about this, where it's like, okay, let me try to spot all the points of light that there are down here and then kind of make that a little video so that people can know there are certain leniencies with printing and developing and photographing and stuff. And you just got to find what works for you. And so, yeah, that's about it. I have this little enlarger that I was using for a bit, and it's just fine. And I'm going to ship it to a friend, a little Omega. And I don't use that anymore now that I have the Bessler. But I also have this big electronic Bessler that I need to fix. It's kind of hard to see. Turn this light on. But yeah, the bellows ripped out. It was outside for a while, under a tarp at this house. And my friends gave it to me, but I have to take the bellows off, scrape off some corrosion, clean it out, and get new bellows and put them in. The bellows actually seem okay. I just might try to reset them, at least this bottom pair, but the top pair has mold growing in it. So yep, that's what I got going on down here. It's really simple. You just need to find whatever's comfortable for you. So if you don't want to have everything on one side and you want to keep it separate, great, and go ahead. If you have the space, I would say go for it. If you don't, or even if you do and you are just careful, or you find that it works for you to just have everything on one side for the most part, that's also great. So anyways, happy printing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.